Alright, looks like good enough spot. We're gonna have to lay down and get some cover, alright? We'll set up and we'll go through. Alright, roger that. Hey guys, Stag, Wolf and Stag Wastelander. So unfortunately I couldn't finish the video that I was doing earlier because of the snowstorm that decided to show up. Because of course it would. It's December 2023. Obviously it's going to show up. So what I wanted to get at with that video is we've all seen the previews to that new movie coming out, Civil War or whatever. And we've all heard the line, but we're all Americans, we're all on the same team. Yeah? What kind of American are you? You know? That should tell you. Or at least it used to. Stars and Stripes. My state. It should tell you everything you need to know about what kind of American I am. But obviously, if we've all paid attention to the trailer, there's a beautiful leftist Antifa finger-painted sniper. There's the guy that's clearly is supposed to be the right-wing MAGA Drumpftard who's stopping people on the road. Then you have the California Federation, or Republic of California, and Republic of Texas joining forces, and the Western Coalition, and this is all meant to divide us. But it's also predictive programming, because we just saw what Colorado did this last week. We saw the stupidity out of the Colorado Supreme Court. And this isn't a call to action, this is just props for now. But what happens if that movie were real? Because we all know that it's just fiction. But what were to happen if it were real? Where would you stand? Well, I stand there even though I'm wearing a foreign camo. But I stand for the United States of America. I always have. I'm an American. Obviously. But what happens if that turns out to be a real scenario? And it's a real possibility with things going on right now. If you look at the parallels to history, you can see that it's pretty well paralleling another really critical event in history. So, what happens if the SHIT hits the fan? Well, SHTF, WROL, zombies are coming. To borrow from John from Prepper Nation. Where are you going to stand? What are you going to do? I know where I'm going to stand and what I'm going to do. And that's to defend my home, my friends, my neighbors, people that I know. If I have to leave, or my community, if I have to pack up and leave and bug out, I'm ready for it. But again, I'm going to have to give a little disclaimer here. The views described and expressed, and the events described and expressed in this video are merely fictional and for entertainment purposes. Just like Risky Krisky says, This is me telling you not to do anything. This is me telling you that this is strictly for entertainment purposes. But let's say, theoretically, hypothetically, whatever, it's something we've all talked about. Collapse of society without rule of law. If you're preparing for things, if you're a prepper, you're preparing for it. If you're into gun culture or you're into tactical culture, you're preparing for it. There's been attacks on our constitutional rights, the Second Amendment being primary of them, followed by the First Amendment. There are attacks on democracy itself, I guess, even though we're a constitutional republic, but that's neither here nor there. There's an attack on withholding a candidate from an opposing political party because he's merely winning. And because you didn't like the fact that he was America First. America First isn't just for people of my skin tone. It's for people that are that are Americans. On top of that, we have a flooded southern border. Okay? The southern border is completely overrun. We can't deny that. They can deny it all they want. But people that are paying attention know it's overrun. It's overwhelmed. So there's a real big possibility that the events described in that upcoming movie could very well happen. How well prepared are you? Do you have your mag? Do you have friends that you can trust? Do you have equipment? Do you have gear? Do you have gear that you can trust? Do you have gear that you've run in, gone in, tested? Do you have people that you've worked with, gone to the range with, practiced with? Again, this is all hypothetical. This is all for entertainment. But do you have those capabilities? Do you have a group of people that you can trust? Do you know people that you can trust when or if, God, please let it be if the shite hits the fan? So, and in that case, if you're out there in the middle of nowhere, do you know your area? Do you know your terrain? Do you know what your duties are? If you have to bug out, do you know what your duties are? That's what that little clip in the beginning of this video was about. Do you know what your duties are? Okay, we're going to go set up an LPOP. Alright, well, we know that we're protecting this area. We have a bug out location. We have people out here. We're protecting it. We know that there's a main road out here. We know that there's an access road over here and around here. We know that we're fairly exposed, other than we're using the rocks as cover. So, the purpose of this is be ready, be prepared, know your responsibilities, know your duties, know what you got to do. If you have to bug out, be ready to do it. Have equipment ready. Work in your equipment. Train in your equipment. If you have a mag, work with your mag. Train with your mag. Know what those guys' responsibilities are. Know what their capabilities are. Know what everybody's duty is going to be. Because eventually, like Risky Krisky said the other day, it's going to get worse before it gets worse. But then eventually it's going to get better. We've all heard the saying, it's always the darkest right before the dawn. And that's true. But we know that things could happen tomorrow, and this movie is kind of pushing towards that, kind of pushing that narrative that things could happen, or that some big event's going to happen and kick it all off. Well, it's a big possibility. We have an election coming up next year. To me, a very important election. One of the biggest in this nation. And that's coming up this year. We have states taking somebody off the ballot because they don't like their political views. State Supreme Court activist judges taking people off. Well, what happens when people don't have a choice? And again, I'm going to have to add the disclaimer again that this is just merely a thought exercise. This isn't actual fact. Or this isn't me calling to action. This isn't me saying that something should be done. This is me saying what happens when you take away somebody's voice. somebody's opinion. Or maybe the situation isn't like that movie. Maybe it's a Red Dawn scenario. Maybe we're in a situation like Ukraine or Israel. We've been invaded by a foreign force. Are you ready for it? Whatever shape SHTF takes, you should have people in your group. Everybody should know their roles and their responsibilities. You should know everybody's capability within your group. So, hopefully I just get to wear this for LARPing. Hopefully nothing happens and I don't have to go and wear this in the real world. Hopefully I just get to wear this for LARPing. And I get to run around and do, pretend I'm a cool guy. But we don't know. That's why we have this kit. That's why we have the equipment we have. That's why a lot of us have been preparing stuff and getting ready. Because we don't know. Some of us have been out there in the real world and we've seen things happen. We've been in places or been in professions or duties or responsibilities where we've seen things happen. And we know that at a moment's notice, you got to be ready to go. I always recommend everybody have a kit in their car. This is actually going to be my quick response kit and also my in the truck kit. It'll be ready at all times, especially with everything going on right now in the world. Who knows? We could get Red Dawned, or we could have a situation like that movie. I really don't know. I'm not a soothsayer. I can't predict the future. I'd love to say that everything's gonna be fine. 2024 is gonna go off without a hitch. Nothing bad's gonna happen. Nothing terrible. The economy's not gonna crash. The election's gonna go. We're gonna be allowed to pick who we want. For those of us that support the individual that was taken off of the ballot, Trump was taken off the ballot in Colorado. The Supreme Court's going to step in and say, no, you can't do that. Here's why. And everything's going to be fine. I want to believe that and I want to live in that world. I don't want to have to throw this kit on for anything more than LARPing. Okay? But we had 2020. We had the Summer of Love in 2020. Where people ended up throwing kit like this on to defend their community. We've had a massive surge over the border. We've witnessed Ukraine get invaded by Russia. And the meat grinder and nightmare that is, which by the way, I don't support either side, so I hope both teams have fun. We've seen the Israel-Hamas conflict. And again, I don't support either side of that. You do you, boo-boo. Both teams have fun. But we're in a situation, we're in a dangerous time. Or we're in a history-making time. Like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. I'm really hoping that all I get to do is throw this stuff on, make videos for you guys, and LARP. Give you possible scenarios. That's all I'm doing in this video, is giving you a possible scenario. What could happen? Do I know what's going to happen? No. Do I want bad things to happen? No. I want to be able to just, again, like I said, throw this stuff on and go out and LARP. I want to be able to go out there, take this with me, and shoot videos for you guys of me running and gunning and doing different scenarios and doing different possibilities. SHTF scenarios. How could the S hit the fan? How could the shit hit the fan? Those are scenarios I want to do. The zombies. Zombies are coming. End of the world. Oh no, a meteor struck somewhere. An EMP. Realistic scenarios. Are they likely? They're 1 in 10 billion. The zombies are more like 1 in 10 to 9 trillion, but We don't know. We don't know. I wish I could end this year and end this video on a happy, on a happy note, and not say, hey, this fat boy just wants to throw on his gear and LARP. But the truth is, we really don't know what's coming. So, you should have a kit. You should have a couple of friends with a kit. Everybody should have rifles. Do I think you should have more than one rifle? No. The philosophy of this channel has always been to try to stick to just having one, maybe two rifles and a sidearm. Do I think you could, because realistically, if, again, disclaimer, this is not calling for anything, but if it were to hit the fan, can you carry all those rifles? Can you carry all that ammunition, all that extra spare gear, spare parts? You notice I've got a small backpack here. It's also a camel pack, but we won't discuss that in this moment, because that's not what this is about. This isn't about my gear. This is about having gear. This is about knowing your gear, and this is about using your gear. This is about getting out there, training with your gear. Even if you train for impossible scenarios or train for scenarios that could happen, and they never happen, at least you got out there and you got in your gear and you trained. You got out there with your buddies, you went out there and you trained and you practiced. It never came to fruition. That's the world's best case scenario. It never happens. Hallelujah! The skies have opened up and nothing happened. So you have to go out there and you train. So what? I'd rather have this kit and not need it ever. Not need it ever. Than need it and not have it. I would rather train like I fight, but not have to fight like I've trained. But we speak of tyranny. We see how things are going. We see the predictive programming with that new movie coming out. So there are just so many possible scenarios that could happen. The economy is not in good shape. Our border is wide open. We don't know. So why not prepare? Why not be prepared? Why not have a kit? Why not have your equipment ready? Why not have your weapons? Why not train with them? Why not train with your kit? Why not wear your kit? Why not have different various sets of camo? This is one of my now preferred camo. Again, this is Multi-Tarn Druck, or at least a copy of Multi-Tarn Druck, a really good copy from all the photos I've seen. I have multiple kits. I have Fleck Tarn, I have Trop and Tarn, I have Multicam, I have ACU, I have Total Terrain Camo, and I have this stuff. This is quickly becoming my favorite camouflage. It's going to get a lot of testing this summer and a lot of review, and we're going to see how well it works in different conditions and different terrains out here. Because like I said, I'm planning on nothing happening. But just because I hope nothing happens and I plan on nothing happening, doesn't mean it won't. So, in the meantime, I'm going to act like nothing's going to happen. I'm going to take this equipment off because it's hot as balls inside the house. And the Velcro on this new vest is on this new plate carrier is really stiff. We'll have to work that crap in. And I'm going to set this stuff aside. And I'm just going to tell you guys point blank. If you have kit, or you've been wanting to get kit, why not go and do it now? Why not make the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, your reason to get kit? If you just want it to LARP, then get it to LARP. Be honest with yourself. If you want to go out there and pretend you're a Delta Navy SEAL sniper squirrel, and you have a kit to LARP, then so be it. Get your kit. But get a kit and have it just in case. Because like I said, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what could happen tomorrow. We don't know. We could be invaded tomorrow. We could be attacked. Ukraine didn't think they were going to be attacked tomorrow. They didn't think they were being attacked. They were going to be attacked yesterday. They kind of thought about it. They postulated it. They went, that's not going to happen. Israel, you know, Israel should have pretty much planned for that to happen. But, you know, I'm not going to go with either theory on it. That they knew either they knew it was going to happen and they let it happen, or they had no freaking clue and it happened. I don't really care one way or the other. Like I said, I got no dog in that fight. But I'm going to tell you that I see a lot of things similar to events in the 1860s. I'm a student of history. I've studied history. I see a lot of things very similar to the 1860s going on right now. And that gives me pause. That gives me pause for concern. So that's why I'm doing these. I'm going to do these series of videos. Hopefully I'll have a couple of my buddies joining me in the next upcoming video or so. Or another buddy, at least one other guy, maybe two, joining me in kit. And we're going to do field maneuvers. And we're just going to act as if this was SHTF. So. But until then, we're just going to LARP. We're going to wear our kit. We're going to wear our gear. We're going to wear our kits. We're going to go out there and we're going to LARP. And we're going to pretend that we're just LARPing. We're just coming up with different scenarios and we're wargaming ideas in our heads. And that's what this is about. Being prepared. You can't be prepared for every situation in every instance. No one can. But you can get a kit. That's a start. Make connections, make friends, set up a mutual assistance group, a MAG. Set up a bug out plan, a plan to get your family. Buy preps. Could be a natural disaster that hits you. You know, a snowstorm that buries you in for weeks. Flooding. A forest fire. In my case, a prairie fire. Things you have to think about. So that's what I wanted to do this about. I mainly wanted to do this about that upcoming movie and about the scenario and why I'm, and I would be, prepare for a scenario like that. Unrealistic as it might be, or realistic as it might be. Just be prepared for anything. Be prepared for without rule of law, SHTF. Be prepared for a natural disaster. But above all, you should be prepared. And you should have a group of people to work with, and you should know what everyone's responsibilities are. I'm going to reiterate this again. You should know what everyone's position and everyone's responsibility is. And that's the main focus of this series of videos. The buddy teams, the buddy team thing, this video about preparing or how to react or what to do if it does hit the fan. So as always, guys, this has been Stag with the Wolf and Stag Wastelanders, and I normally sign off, or I used to sign off with saying, and I'll see you in the wasteland, but lately I've been saying I hope I don't have to see you in the wasteland.